We are live now.
Nice see you, Mr. Kumi. How's everything?
I'm fine.
Yeah, so I'm equally doing well over here. I just hope the network stays upbeat, that it doesn't lag today.
Wow, wow, wow. So, this one of wow. We are happy to be here once more. Thank you everybody for joining. My name is Kobe Marvin, and I have Otobong Friday here with me.
So, bon, Peter.
Otobong, Otobong Peter. So over to you, Otobong. Over to you.
All right, guys. So we are simply excited. We're extremely excited to have you here. On Me to Serve is a series that's being organized by 360 Leadership Network, and we're very passionate about seeing people and being able to express their best self because we believe that beyond the normality of life, that we all have something in us. We have our gifts to express. We have different aspects of ourselves that the world is just waiting for us to unleash, and that's the idea behind the Unmute Yourself series that's being organized by 360 Leadership Network. And our goal is that we'll see more persons being able to rise beyond their limitations to be able to share their gifts more. So today's event, if you've been following our series, we had our March series, we had our April series, and then we this is part of our main series. We have spoken about purpose, identifying purpose in our March series, and in our April series we actually spoke about identity. Then in this June series is when we're actually premiering the first part of our series, which is Young Africans Speak. So the idea behind the Young Africans Speak is that we'll be featuring young people in Africa who are doing amazing stuff, do amazing things themselves. So that's the idea behind the Young African Speak. So today we have two amazing persons who are going to be joining us as guests. So I don't know if I should introduce them now or we should do it the first part of the session and
Use
try and
them now.
introduce them. Should I introduce them now? Okay, so
Yes.
we have two amazing young people who are doing. You said?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I can
Go ahead.
introduce them.
Yes. Yes.
So we have two amazing young persons who would be joining us. Um, yeah, yeah, who would be joining us in today's series, and one of them is Eedee-Bari Noah Bawoh, who is a legal practitioner with the trusted advisors. She's an amazing personality and really someone to actually look out for. So today she has done amazing things, and we also have with us today Mr. Ayantola, who is a Mastercard scholar. So shortly I'll just read their bio to give us an idea of the amazing persons we are going to be learning and having in the house today. So briefly on the first speaker who will be talking to us today in the house is Mr. Ayantola Alayande. Ayantola Alayande has over 4 years of work and technical experience in the social sector development, engagement, policy analysis, and non-profit management. He has a vast multicultural competence, having worked with several youth-led initiatives across Africa and beyond, including Youth in Motion, J in Nigeria, One Campaign in Nigeria, Africa Youth Movement, the African Youth Action Foundation, South Korea, and the African Development Forum, ADF, at the Korean Development Institute School of Public Policy in South Korea. He also worked as an editor at the Writing Center for a while. Ayantola is currently with the Buchanan Institute, a policy think tank at the University of Edinburgh, where he is also studying for an MSc in Africa and International Development at as part of the Mastercard African Foundation, and he's also a Mastercard Foundation scholar. He holds a BA in Classics with first class honors from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and he's an an enthusiastic Nigeria who believes that soon enough, Nigeria of our dream is going to happen. So it's amazing that we have someone of this personality, someone of this caliber, who's going to be joining us today. And so I really want us to be hooked in and to engage because there's really a lot to learn. So our other
Amazing,
amazing speaker
amazing.
is a lady, someone who is very amazing and my God, I went to the profile and I was just blown away. But just do me the honors and patiently, I hope we'll be able to get through this today. So,
We could just do a
briefly
rap. We
about
could just do a rap.
all right. So let me just, I feel I'll just breeze through it. But then
Exactly.
to show us that we have so much we can do through that we can actually do if we choose to utilize our mind. So Eedee-Bari Bawoh is a legal practitioner with the Trusted Advisors. She is a founder and project coordinator of Voice to the Street Foundation for Street Children Empowerment, which currently reaches 6 states in Nigeria. She graduated from the Erasmus University, Rotterdam, where she did her master's in commercial and company law in 2021. University of Lagos, where she did her LLB in 2017, and the Nigerian Law School in 2018. She's a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, an associate member, Institute of Chartered Mediators and Counselators, and a member of the International Law Association. She's currently appointed Assistant Director of the United Nations Environment Assembly for the National Model United Nations 2021 conference in New York. She served as the Assistant Director of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and she served as a delegate to the United Nations headquarters in New York. And she was also awarded the Distinguished Delegation Award, that's March 2016, and a delegate to the United Nations headquarters, New York, National Model United Nations Award of Honorable Mention in 2015. Eedee-Bari has received several awards, including the famous, prestigious Princess Diana Award 2019. That's amazing, if you must tell me. And has been included in its roll of honors. She was thereafter nominated for the Legacy Award 2019. She received the OKPMA Fellowship for Commercial Law at Erasmus University Rotterdam, where she obtained her master's degree in commercial and corporate law. She received the Humanitarian Service Honorary Award for selfless contribution to the empowerment of street children in 2018 and the Diamond Honorary Award for youth empowerment and leadership in 2018. So to wrap up about this amazing lady, aside from her growing career in the law profession, she's also passionate about performing arts and has to her name several awards and recognition. She's a tribe member of the Theatre Arts Tribe Academy, and her recent performances include Smooth Criminal at Beardwood Theatre, Colfair School, London, United Kingdom, 2014. She also earned a Certificate of Achievement in Music, Dance, and Performance at the Mikado at the Dance Africa Stage School, Helen O'Grady Drama Academy, Cape Town, South Africa, 2010. She's a major contributor in the production of an international performance, Martin Luther King Jr., at Helen O'Grady Drama Academy, Cape Town, South Africa. That's in 29, and she's also the author of a legal thesis on doctrine of necessity, rethinking its justification for extrajudicial killings in Nigeria, which was published in 2018. She is a lover of poetry and has to her credit over 230 poems with over 20 published and viewed literary blogs and magazines nationally and internationally. So it's amazing. So these are the caliber of amazing young persons who are doing amazing things in Africa who will be having
And
today on this program. So
and
uh,
without without
it's
wasting without
really a
wasting
must
time,
watch.
yes, I think we should just bring them in so we can just go
All
from
right,
there. So, ladies
awesome,
and
awesome.
gentlemen, everyone watching us, you're set for such an amazing time to get amazing ideas and tips on opportunities that young Africans can leverage on wherever you are. You can leverage on it and just fly. Those that have had these
Yeah,
opportunities and tested of it. So to be a
sure.
privilege to bring them up right now, so they can join us on stream. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have them here with us. Woo! And I just have a music for
Drum
them to just
rolls.
wow, 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 wow,
Welcome.
wow,
It's nice
wow.
to have you guys here.
Yes, yes, yes. Amazing, 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 amazing. we are very happy to have
Welcome, Eedee-Bari, and welcome, I am
you,
Ayantola. It's amazing
Eedee-Bari.
having you here.
Thank you.
Hi, Ayatola. Your mic is muted. Okay, okay, your mic is muted. I think.
Oh yeah, thanks everyone. It's good to be here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And okay, without wasting much time, I just want us to quickly do something before we dive into the activity for today. Um, I would like us to just say what we think about this. Yeah, there's a picture on the screen. I don't know if you can see. Can you see?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll just like us to say like what you think about this picture.
Of opportunity.
Let me start from OT. Otobon, what do you think about this picture? Just in few seconds.
Yo, okay, so shortly, this is like just two pictures. So we are seeing opportunity and then someone who is actually there and then he's simply supposed to leverage the opportunity and actually make good use of it, but then a personal limitation stops him from actually getting access to the opportunity. So the personal limitation can be anything. It could be not having enough certification to actually leverage opportunity. It could be access to information, but in this case, the limitation here is actually shyness. So
Exactly.
shyness is stopping the person from being able to leverage the opportunity, probably because they think they are incompetent or something.
Amazing, amazing. Can we just have Eedee-Bari? Can you just tell us what you think about it? Maybe just a few seconds, just maybe a word or two.
I don't think what I want to say is far fetched from what he just said now.
Okay,
So, yeah, I think shyness is stopping that person from getting what he or she should have gotten. Like
exactly,
this person.
exactly.
Sure.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Sir Ayantola, can we just have you tell us what you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, like typically, I think everyone has said it. So the first picture shows this person seeing like there's a ball of opportunities, there's a world of opportunities before him, and he's ready to embrace it at every level. Yeah, but on the other hand, there's the second picture where somebody is being held back by shyness, and in context, it may not be shyness, it may be so many other things. There is fear of not being enough, what you call imposter syndrome. There are so many things that could be holding people back. So for me, it's like it's a world of two sides. Somebody is ready to embrace the opportunities. Some other person is just being shy and not going all out for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was just a stop by. So thank you so much um, for being here today. We are so grateful and we don't take this opportunity for granted. Thank you for your time and all you just do to show Africans that indeed the opportunities out there we can leverage on it, we can assess it if we have the right tool at every point in time. We are that makes it closer to us or far away as we may say. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show and just bless us with your wealth of knowledge. And we've done a reading of your bio and telling the people of who you are, so they know what they're expecting to get from you. So quickly going into what we have for today, um, I will have a question for the both of us, for the both of you, and let me start from Ayatola. So, how African can you say you are? Just in few minutes or few words. How African can you say you are?
Well, that's a very tricky question. Well, I think I think I'm as African to the best of my awareness. But quite realistically, yeah, my entire career has been centered around pushing an African narrative about development. So most of the things I want to do in terms of work and the things I have done has actually been targeted at this, pushing an African image, an African story of what development is, and talking perhaps in concrete terms now. So for my first master's, I had, perhaps it's really not necessary. It's not really a time to sell myself. But the key point is that I have at every point, endeavored to make African development the center of what I do. So I think that's perhaps the key thing. And I think, because I once heard a story, a quote somewhere, that I'm not African because I live in Africa. I'm African because Africa lives in me. And that's quite true. For many of us who've lived quite a substantial part of our lives in diaspora, for me, it's not been a lot. It's just been 2 years. But I mean, quite meaningfully, the extent to which we are ready to engage conversations around the continent, the extent to which we are ready to do stuff to actually prove that we care about the continent, is actually the extent to which we're African. So you can say, oh, I'm African, I'm a proper Ninja boy, I'm a Kenyan, and those kind of things. And it's not really reflecting in the kind of things you want to push. Okay, maybe I should still just use this example. I've been trying to, as much as possible, avoid self praises and all of that. So when I did my first master's at the Korea Development Institute in South Korea, I was, I got in, I was just kind of engulfed in so many things, and I felt like, hey, wanting to serve as president of the African Development Forum would be one of the least things I would want to do, because like there were just too many things on the ground to do. But I remember one of the things my friend told me then was that do it because you think nobody else can do it. Now, his argument was that he wouldn't have mind if I said I wasn't going to do it and there was somebody else who could actually do it and do it well. But he felt if I wasn't going to do it, there wasn't anybody as capable enough to do it. So I think it's that realization, it's that awareness of what you really want to do for Africa that constantly pursuing. And I should also say, like, nominally, my second degree, my second master's, which I'm currently doing at the University of Edinburgh, is called Africa and International Development. So I'm actually quite deliberate about what I do in terms of pursuing African developmental growth. Yeah, and career-wise, I'm quite focused on political economy of the continent. So I would say I'm really, really passionate about Africa. It's actually what I paint around in my career. I'll probably just pass on to Eedee-Bari. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it well. Apologies, please.
No, you got it. Amazing.
Okay, cool.
Is that a question for me too?
Yeah.
So I'm actually African. Like, I'm Nigerian. I'm from River State, kind of local government. And then I've lived mostly all my life in Lagos before coming over here. So yeah, I'm very African. I'm very into African things, music, food, everything. And I'm also into African development. Like, most of the things that I do and most of the things I'm still really involved in is really around the developments in Africa.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. And one of the things that makes us, we can all see, anyone that sees the color of our skin knows as well that we are Africans. So just like you said, the food we eat, the songs you listen to, and everything that we do as humans portray where we are from. And despite wherever we go in life, we should always remember our roots, which is build on it. We have a lot to talk about. So quickly, I'm just going to go to the first question for Mr. Ayantola. From your bio, we found out that you have gotten a lot of opportunities when it comes to scholarship. Yeah, when it comes to MasterCard, Commonwealth, you have a wealth of experience and knowledge in the areas of scholarship, and there's a lot of viewers out there that really wants to know what it takes for them to get. So quickly, we would like to know, what information do you think is critical that any young Africans looking or searching for scholarship opportunities should get? What are the very critical informations that they should look out for and they should get themselves prepared for?
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. I was kind of wondering where when I saw the flyer and I saw like 3 times nominee and stuff, I was kind of surprised when you got that. Okay, but facing the issue, I would say what information is critical or crucial. Well, I would say as much as possible, any information you can get, you should get. Now, there's a saying that information is power. It's actually not just a cliche. It's a real story. It's a reality, you know. So the first time I was going to apply for Commonwealth, that was almost like 3 years after I had finished school. Obviously, I was working, so I couldn't really pay attention to that. But you know, one thing that struck me was the very first time I applied, I got it, and I was like, and you know, prior to that, I had applied to so many other schools, so many other scholarships. I mean, I can't even name them. I applied to BAU, these, and you know, they were all just coming with rejections. And I was wondering, so all this why, what had I been doing? You know, imagine if I'd known about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship before then, I'll probably have gotten it way earlier than I did. So for me, it was the realization that, oh, I actually just didn't know. And I didn't know. That was actually the first time I was going to learn it. It was, you know, quite surprising. And also same as MasterCard. Obviously, I didn't pick up Commonwealth. That's why I eventually went for MasterCard after the years. But the key point I'm trying to make is that get information as much as possible. Now, what I do, just to make it as plain as possible, is that I have several websites I subscribe to. Even now, I'm obviously not planning to pursue another master's. That would be too much or a waste. But what I still try to do, because I know a lot of people want to ask, oh, how can I get scholarship? I just subscribe to as many links as possible. So there are some of them you can, you know, you can do like newsletters. I don't know if that's what they call it. You know, they just give you like weekly updates or monthly updates, whichever way you want it, or bi-weekly, those kind of things. And then you can get information about the scholarship you want. In fact, it's as simple as being able to streamline to the field you want, to the field that you want. So let's say you're a tech person, you want scholarships in the field of tech. You're management, you want scholarships in management. I am mostly development and public policy. So you can streamline, and you can also streamline country. You can also streamline level of study, whether it's undergraduate, whether it's graduate, whether it's graduate, I mean masters, whether it's PhD. So the key point I'm trying to make is that the crucial thing you actually need to know is to know everything. It sounds vague, but it's actually just true. So, and I've seen this a lot of times, over and over again, almost universally, when people ask me about scholarships or anything, any opportunity at all, whether professional fellowships, it's always, they don't do the background check. You know, I've seen people just text you, yeah, I want to go to the UK. What do you think? Which schools do you think are the cheapest? And those kind of things. Or I want to go to Canada. And then they just want you to do the background. They want you to do all the work for them. People, I mean, like over and over again, people come to me, write personal statements for me and these kind of things. I do edit personal statement for people. I do that like on full time. I don't charge them for it. But I think people should also do their bit in, you know, trying to search for as much information as possible. So I think the starting point, for instance, you want to apply to a school. My starting point is that I rake everything about that school's website. You know, that program I want to apply for. I rake everything about it. I look for every scholarship about it. I chat with alumni and stuff. Let me give you an example. So a friend of mine, he had done the Chevening program in 2017, right? Yeah, 2017, 2018. So that means like he could actually go back to the UK for whatever reason if he wants to now. So I was planning to do another master's. Well, this time more specified, and he actually needs it because he has scaled up his work and stuff. So he wanted to do this time in Cambridge or Oxford. And you know, the starting point was, you know, come to me because they are, you know, Commonwealth and all those things. And then we're kind of discussing, exploring how, hey man, you are not going to get Commonwealth because these are both government scholarships. And you know, but what he did that was quite surprising to me was that this guy dug out information that I would never even have thought was possible. In fact, he was probably the first person I knew that was going to say, hey, this scholarship is out. So he emailed as many professors as possible. Then he told me about the particular scholarship. I was like, no, they don't do it in the UK. I was like, look at you. They started doing it in this school, this course. You know, so he was as enthusiastic as possible for what he wanted. So I think starting point, get as much information as you need, get all the information you need to. Ransack all the websites, you know, talk to people, you know, get serious about it. Of course, it's not the do or die affair, but it's just a serious matter. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. And from what you've said so far, I can see two things. Passion, your passion is very, 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 very high, and passion does not just come across purpose. It comes across everything one. And your passion led you to ransack every information that you need. So just like you said, your passion is very important, and also every information is necessary. As long as you can lay your hands on it, grab it and make the best use of it. Thank you so much. And we're quickly going to move to Eedee-Bari. Eedee-Bari, from your profile as well, we'll find out that you've done a lot of work with the United Nations. At least you've been there. We would like you to tell us a bit about your journey with the United Nations, because we'll find out that it didn't just start recently. It started from when you were in the university, University of Lagos. So we'd like to know a bit about your journey with the United Nations, and also how opportunities and where they can see these opportunities to enter the multicultural space. And so we'd just like you to tell us a bit about your journey with the United Nations and how you got those opportunities. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the question. So I must correct something. I'm not in the United Nations like I want to be, but
Okay.
let's just say, let's just answer the question. So I think from my uni days, I think when I was in year three, I started Model UN conferences. So I attended for first time um, the National Model United Nations. Then I attended second time, and then after that, I decided to move to a staff position. So I got into the Lagos Model United Nations staff position. That's for chair, a chair position in the Human Rights Council. And then after that, I was appointed as the Deputy Secretary General of the Lagos Model United Nations Conference. Then I decided to move further, and then I applied for the National Model United Nations. So this one is organized by the UN itself and directly with a committee in the UN. So yes, you can say we work with the UN. And that was the first time, I think 2018 or 2019, I was appointed Assistant Director for the General Assembly, third committee. And then up there, after the next time, I was appointed Assistant Director for UNIDO. And then last year, I was appointed Assistant Director for UNE. And this year, I've gotten a new appointment, but it's not in the public yet, so I will just let it lie. So yeah, how I got the the opportunities with the UN, I think it started from school way back then, and it started with a determination to want to do it. So I kind of already carved out a path for myself where I want to tread, where I want to be in this social year, like this number of years in my life. This is what I want to do. So I decided to start building blocks. And that's when I started to start building experiences. So I moved from delegate to staff position to national staff positions. And then I moved to assistant director positions in the National Model United Nations. And yeah, I've gotten a new appointment just last week. And it's been awesome. It's been an awesome um, journey. Yeah. So I would say that to be able to access opportunities such as this or many more like you want to access, I think most likely you can get these kind of opportunities from Model UN websites. So there are national Model UNs and there are international Model UNs. I think Cambridge has the Model UN, Oxford should have the Model UN. These are experiences that you can build on your CV to be able to one day apply for staff position and then be selected. Aside Model UNs, you can also volunteer with the UN. There's the UN volunteer website. You can go there and then you can check on any register and then apply and you'll be given. And then also there is the UN jobs website. That's a website that you should always look at because I think first you can start with an internship. So mostly they always look at internship. I know someone once told me that once you're able to get your legs in, then you can do so much with it. So internships get you in, and you can't get internships without building yourself or building an experience for yourself. And that's why if you want to start with Model UN, it's very advisable to do that because it's the easiest for you to do. Apply as a delegate, just pay the delegate fee. Do be a diplomat from any country that you're given. It preps you to be in that position you want to be someday. The UN career website, the UN volunteer website, and I talked about model UN conferences, and then I've also talked about internships. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. And a quick one. I came across a friend that also got an opportunity for the Model UN back when I was in school, but he mentioned that I don't. Is it totally free? Because he told me they asked him to pay some fee for him to be able to come up on board and maybe attend the country. I think then was it Thailand or something? Yeah, it was Thailand or so. And he said they asked him to pay some amount of money to come on up on board. So I just want to clarify that. Is that true or something? Is it obtainable?
Okay, so Model UN conferences, you get to pay. I think the most important thing that they charge is registration fee. That's conference fee, and it's always a very little token. But then what beats up the money is when you apply for international Model UNs, where you have to take care of your own hotel bills or your own transport there. Yeah, that takes up all the money. But then there are other international Model UNs that give scholarships. So while applying for international Model UNs, you can also check out for the ones that give scholarship. They would ask you to maybe write a motivational letter, things like that. And then you write it and then hope to get in, which I know you will get in. So that. But aside
I like the hope.
you will get in. There's nothing impossible. So aside that, I also always suggest national Model UNs conferences for people that are just starting up. So if you want to begin a Model UN journey, I always advise maybe national one, because I know there's the Lagos Model United Nations. I think there are about 3-4 national Model UN conferences in Nigeria alone. And then they have the big one, the GMON, the Ghana Model UN. It's pretty big. So that's regional. So you move from local down to regional, and then you get or you can apply directly to the National Model United Nations conference as a delegate. The thing is, when you build up all these delegate experiences, you can then apply for staff position in national Model UNs, like local Model UN conferences. Immediately you are able to get 1 or 2 or 3 staff position experience, then you can move to apply to the national Model UN. You get a lot of a lot of benefits from applying to the staff. You get the staff benefits. Yeah, I won't disclose that. Well,
yeah, you are already a portrait. You are a portrait of the benefits. So we don't need to ask. We can see it all over you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was amazing. You just opened us up to the wisdom that was quite hidden. So I am sure our viewers out there have gotten value from what you said so far. So if you have a question for any of our guests, do well to drop it in the comment section, and do well to equally share this video with your friends and drop a comment, like the video. Don't just watch and pass by. Like it, share it with your friends. And if you have any question for them, do well to drop it in the comment section as we continue. So now we are going to Mr. Ayantola. So you've leveraged on so many scholarships, and we would like to know if is there any prerequisite, like does your grade, your initial grade, your university grade or secondary school grade and all that, depending on the category you want to apply for, does grade really matter when it comes to scholarships, international scholarships? And if it matters, what's like the benchmark of what is needed?
Right. I think that's a very good question. So, well, I think grade matters. It does matter a lot. Like, so I usually describe it this way: it gets you a foot in the door. Actually, quite increasingly now, scholarship bodies just don't want that you just have good grades. I know there are a couple of scholarships that are big on you being academically excellent. So, for instance, the Rhodes Scholarship is kind of just big on academic excellence, but also they want to see what you've done outside the academic spectrum. So I think I was thinking about that this afternoon, just thinking about your questions. Yeah, I would say it's good to have the first, it's good to have the 2-1, but scholarship bodies are increasingly paying less attention actually to your academic standing. They want to know how does that knowledge shape the world. And I think it's just one thing that's interesting though. So people think you get scholarships just because you are academic good kind of thing. No, not exactly actually. Um, I would say some of the tangible scholarships I've gotten, there was actually less emphasis on my academic excellence or whatever I studied in school. My background was classics and history, and now I'm doing like international development. Prior to that, public policy, and I obviously focusing more on the economic side of things, which I didn't have a background in anyway. So if you had to look at that feat, that curve of feat, like moving from classics and history to public finance and all those things, it didn't just make sense. So I don't think so it doesn't mean like have a 2-2. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you do have a 2-2, if you do have a pass, it's not the end of the world. So there are so many ways to have it. So because like what we're trying to do, we're trying to give people as much insight as possible, not just saying like this is what is obtainable everywhere. So I know, for instance, in US schools, it's not about whether you have a first class or you have 2-1 from your Nigerian degree. It's about your GRE in most cases and how everything comes together as a fit. So I'd say focus on everything as a fit, right? Academically, have the good grades if you can. But how excellent would it be if you have the good grades when you can, and you also have community, commitment, development work that you've done. You have loads of experience behind you. It's quite interesting that people see me mostly as an academic, and that's just because of the scholarships. But it's less than 20% of what I have done. But so the scholarship side tends to come out. That's just because you get it. But I think it's not totally an academic story. It's more of what you're doing, like things like this that you're doing, Marvin.
Exactly.
Things like the summit you're organizing, the ways you're trying to change your community, the ways you're committing to stuff. I was in the student union in UI days. I actually used to do MUN too. I attended the GMON, the Ghana International Model Union. I was there in 2015, 2016. I'm not sure if I met Eedee-Bari, but it's like so I used to do MUNs, and then I started working in non-profit sector properly. So for me, it was actually, so when I went to KDI, it wasn't actually even about my academic scholarship at all. I don't even think they really ask for you to have it first. They actually just want to see what you're doing in terms of like, are you a government official? Are you working in the key private sector? Are you working in the key non-profit sector? So I think increasingly, especially for people who are interested in the social sector, there's a larger emphasis on what can you do? What are you doing? How are you changing the world? I've seen it all over. There are people in my class who don't have a first class and they're on scholarship. So obviously that academic rigor has to be there, but I think it's good to balance things. So I would say 40-60 in my own bias. 40 academic, 60 what you're doing. There are many ways you can prove this. Even if you had a bad grade, there are many things you can do. Have you presented papers? Is there a concept you're doing? Can you speak to the topic? Those are things that people see and they are quite irresistible. So I think go for it if you can. If you cannot, don't kill yourself. People will see me as a bad advocate. Yes, it's just like but it's not everything.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Not just wanting to empower someone that after empowering you, there's no creative way that you can use that to impact the world. Yeah. So you must be doing something. You must be doing something. I think I equally met you through one of the works you were doing as well. I'm just trying to wrap my head around to remember it.
That must be J when I used to work at J, yeah?
Exactly.
J Nigeria, yeah.
And that was kind of a voluntary stuff, right?
No, I was working as a full staff. I was a program officer at J. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was, and you guys do a lot of.
Were you in the VIM class?
Is that?
Were you in the VIM class?
Yeah.
I thought, What year was that?
That was 2019, 2020.
Okay. I was in VIM in 2018. Okay. So I thought I'd met you in one of the Chan programs. Okay. Yeah, excellent.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You and right now we're moving to Eedee-Bari. Eedee-Bari, considering the the ecosystem to which you are, and also considering the African narrative that is around your gender, which is the feminine gender. Um, there's this connotation around the feminine gender, especially when it comes to working in such an environment which you do. So we'd like to know, are there challenges you faced based on your gender working in such an environment? And also, what would be your advice to young African females that also want to work in that line and infiltrate the sector to which you have? What would be your advice to them coming into that space?
So for me, I think one thing that has really been my drive is that I can be very limitless in the sense that I don't take no for an answer. So
Amazing.
I
Wow.
don't, I don't do that. I don't limit myself. I'm a very big dreamer. So I wake up every morning having like really big dreams, and I always look for ways to make it a reality. So I would say that never limit yourself. You're a girl, which makes you phenomenal. You are a girl, which makes you powerful. It makes you, I think, 10 steps ahead of the other gender. The other gender.
Amazing.
So I would say do not be afraid to shoot your shots, because I always quote this famous quote from Maya. I don't know, Maya the poet, the very popular poet, American poet. She's late now, but I really love this one that says that my mission in life is not merely to survive. My mission in life is to thrive. And not just to thrive, but to thrive with passion, to thrive with compassion, to thrive with humor, and to thrive with style. So, as a lady, I think, or I would say that to not be afraid to shoot your shots. Take every opportunity that you have and shoot your shot. You are like in where I have worked, I don't think being a girl or a female of the female gender has been like a limitation for me. Maybe because I decided to have like a proper mindset for myself, and I have not in any way thought less of myself than the next person beside me. So that's what I think that my advice should be, or my advice
Okay.
is to everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much. So from what you're saying so far is that climbing this ladder, there has not been any point that you had a friction because of your gender.
Well, I would say yes. Well, I would say yes, I have at some point where you can't change what people think. You can only change what you think. So I would say yeah, that at some point because of my gender, I have kind of felt like another person had was able to have things easier than I did. But I don't think it has ever stopped me. I still kept on moving, like picking
Amazing.
myself up, dusting myself, and moving forward.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. So that's a great encouragement for young African females out there. You ever you want to be. At least in our generation today, we have a lot of African females that are doing amazing stuffs out there. Amazing, I tell you, amazing. So there is no limit to what you can be. Just like you said, you choose to become a thermostat and not a thermometer. So a thermostat determines what happens in and around them, and not a thermometer that reflects whatever comes from the environment. So you choose to regulate what you want to see, and the picture you want to see, you have in your mind, will certainly become what reflects in your world. So thank you so much for that. And wrapping up quickly, we'll just have maybe one or two questions, and then we'll call it a day. So moving to Ayatola now. sir, would like to know what is your vision for seeing you working in the social sector and the things you do. What can we say is your vision for the next generation of Africa? Because you amongst so many young Africans have had amazing opportunities to go out there in Europe. I think all of us now, we are all in Europe. I'm in Cyprus and all that. So having this wonderful opportunity of studying outside the shores of Africa. So what is your vision for Africa and young Africans? Or do you just want to stay back there in London and enjoy the beautiful place and all that? Or what is your vision for young Africans? How do you think you can impact them looking forward? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Marvin. That's a very interesting question. I mean, I like the way you particularly closed. You just want to stay back there in London and stuff. I'm actually in Nigeria at the moment, so I'm in Abuja currently.
Okay.
I'm doing the research component of my MSc. So I decided to travel down, get some data, get some experience on the field doing the research before I go back. So it just tells you how connected I am. I am to that space. Actually, I can actually confidently say in my class or in my cohort, perhaps the only person who actually traveled out of the UK, despite the COVID and all of that, to come to my home country, get the data, do the actual work on the field. So I think I'm really very connected to the African space and particularly to the Nigerian space. I have a huge vision, and my vision is that of a developmental Nigeria. So I am passionate about politics and economic growth. I mean, obviously, previously before I left, I used to work in the NGO sector, But now I'm seeing a vision of transiting into the macro space of policy, politics, economics. How can we grow? And I tell you, that economic growth balance controls everything. The reason we are seeing the crisis in insecurity, the reason we are seeing the crisis in youth, lack of purpose, the reason we are seeing the crisis in terms of, lack of direction overall for the country. The reason it looks like we're seeing a crisis in education, we're seeing a crisis in almost every sector of the country. It's because of this simple fact. There's a faulty foundation of economic growth. Everything is falling apart. People are poor. People can barely survive. People can barely have a living. So it trickles down into the kind of decisions people will make, and it trickles down into how people take the Nigerian ecosystem itself seriously. So, for instance, you tell people that, oh, you should pay your tax. This person is going to tell you, I'm not even eating. What do we know? This government is not even doing anything. We don't know whether they are spending our money right. You're asking me to pay taxes and all these things. And you can't blame them. I remember when I was in the students, one of the key debates that always came up was we needed to optimize education. So it was an argument for university administrators saying we need to increase the fees, But, one thing we always responded with was, yeah, there's a valid argument for increasing the fees, but the income level is low. If income level is low, even though you want to increase the fees to make the system better, people cannot pay. But we all know the facts, like better fees make the education system work better. We all school in Europe, we all school in the US and those kind of places. People pay huge fees. Some of us can't afford it without scholarships. And so we want to come to Nigeria and have it free. But what I'm just trying to say is that we need to level up that economic growth side of things. So, and for me, that's actually the vision. Not just in Nigeria, every part of Africa. I want to see government making deliberate policies that drive economic growth. Deliberate policies that are not disconnected, obviously, from the people, that are not disconnected from the politics of things. And it reflects in everything I do. So now I'm taking conscious, deliberate effort to do everything that I do. So whilst I'm doing my research, I'm currently working in the data and development ecosystem in Nigeria. So I go around going to firms that work on using data to drive, public accountability, just to learn what they're doing, just to be part of the space, just to build network. And I tell you, you can't stand aloof and want to change things, And it's the truth. The system is closed, the space is closed, the sector is closed. And, coming back, many of us have an idealized vision of, I schooled in America now. School in Europe. You just think you come back and people will create space for you. I tell you, despite the school I am, like even when I write an email, I'm from this school, and like nobody has time. I remember when I went to one of these guys and I wanted to have an interview. He was like, everything we are doing. You know how many things we are doing? When I even saw this request of interview, I was like, I'm going to add an interview to this. No, that's why I said no. But he just gave me an audience because he was kind of an interesting guy. So what I'm just trying to say is that we need to be in that space. We need to be at the beck and call of this thing. So we need to get it moving, and that's what I want to do. So for me, I don't even see the UK as a comfortable space for me. Everybody around me knew that from the very first day. I was like, hey, I want to go back to Nigeria. So I think we should be that passionate about being in the space, and that's my vision: economic growth, development, politics, and policy doing well.
Amazing, amazing. We can see that you have a lot of vision for Africa and particularly Nigeria from where you come from. Thank you so much. We are blessed indeed to have someone like you in Nigeria, and looking forward to do a lot of work with you when I actually come back as well and we meet on the table. We'll do a lot for our nation, Nigeria. We'll just lift up the banner and see the new Nigeria and the new Africa of our dreams. Thank you so much. And our last questions, moving down to our last questions. Eedee-Bari, over to you now. There's a lot of Africans or Nigerians that really want to enter the space of which you are now, which is the United Nations. And we'd like to know, you've said something about that before, but just to reiterate, are there particular websites or blogs that they can look out to get these informations? And also, you've been in that United Nations for at least in that space, for a while now. Can you really say that the United Nations is doing what it ought to do? Is working down to its values and its vision? Are they really doing what they have to do? And finally, as the assistant director that you actually work as now, we'd like to know a bit about your JD, your job description, and the things you do in that space. So, thank you. I know that's kind of too much questions in one, but whichever way you stop, just tell me. I'm going to come in. I'll help you around. Thank you.
Okay. So, like I said before, I said the UN volunteer website. So that's a website where you can volunteer for like volunteering roles and things like that. Then the UN career website, if you're just starting off, I would advise maybe start with an internship. So you can see internship placements on the UN career website. That's vacancy website. I'm not sure what the just a minute. Yeah, the UN jobs website. Then aside that, you could also like for committees that you're most interested in, like I am interested in children, so that would be UNICEF and things around that. You can just pop up at any of the committee websites and then you can check for vacancies. You can see internship positions and then you can see job positions as well. Yeah, for Moodle UN conferences, I think you can just Google Moodle UN conferences and it brings out all the Moodle UN conferences that you can probably apply for. Then the other question about is the United Nations doing what they have to do? Yes, they are doing they are doing it very well. They're doing very well. Yeah, that's my answer for that. And then what's the last one? My job description. And up until 2 days ago, I was assistant director for UNE. And then what I like my job description was around writing the committee background guide, which I did alongside my other team members. And I work on the topic climate change and health, and I am very happy that it went all the way down to the UN. That's when the resolutions, like it was a topic that was chosen during committee session, and then resolutions were made out of about 5 resolution. Both Conference A and Conference B both voted the topic as the topic for discussion. My topic. I'm so proud. As a topic for discussion. And then that was what the committee deliberated on, both Conference A and Conference B, and then it moved down to voting session, and then resolutions were made based on that topic, and then the topic went all the way down to the UN. So it made me really proud. Then, aside background guides, I also, alongside my director, read the delegate position papers, and then we score those papers, and then we score delegates, we guide them, we mentor the chairs and the reps, and yeah, we edit resolutions, not edit, we guide delegates in writing resolution from working papers down to draft resolutions, then when it's voted in as a resolution. Yeah, that's majorly. So we work almost a year, we work a year round before conference, and then conference comes and then delegates attend the conference. So
Amazing.
every year you either get a new appointment.
Amazing, amazing. Wow. I think you, you need a you need a hand for that. We can see you have a lot of work you're doing. Thank you so much for representing us very well over there. You're doing
Thank
an amazing
you.
job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So wrapping it up here now, starting from Ayatola, I would just like to know if you were to relive life again, to start life all over, what exactly will you do differently? You just need just a comment on that. What will you do differently if you are to start life all over? So what really will you do differently?
I mean, like, that's a tricky question, you know. It's sort of like it would fit into a philosophy class more than, something like this. But, well, thinking about it, I think I would be more explorative. So prior to now, I'd lived my life all over again.
Wow, I
Can
think
you all hear me?
yeah, we can now. We can.
Okay,
You're
okay,
back.
cool. So I think prior to now, childhood, early parts of my youth days, still a youth, obviously. But I've been very risk averse, until recently when I started exploring more things and not caring as much as possible. So, and if there's one lesson I've learned is that you would regret the things that you didn't do more than the things that you do, right? So it's a common saying. So I think if I were to live life from scratch, it would be to be more explorative, take as much risk as possible, try things I think I'm not qualified for because they've actually worked for me. A typical example would be, I think it was just I was talking to a friend just last week, and there was this firm I'd had in mind all my life, like in terms of working in international affairs. I'm going to get into this firm one day, and all I had in mind was I'm going to do, they have a training program. They call it a political risk training program. So you do that for 1 year. So I thought, okay, when I finish my second master's, it's what I'm going to do, just apply for that, get in. And, then they had another role, which was way senior to that. And I was like, okay, let me give it a trial. And I did. And, things are working so fine for that. Just to say it that way. So I think if I didn't have that boldness to want to try, if I'd limited myself to say, I think all I can get is just an entry level kind of thing, I wouldn't have gotten it. So if I were to start life all over, for me to be as explorative as possible, to be as daring as possible, to take more risk as possible, to try more things, and just move out of my own restrictions and my own boundaries.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's amazing. So Eedee-Bari, let's hear from you. If you were to start life all over again, what will you do differently? What will you do and what would you do? And just also your last words for the viewers. Thank you.
Um, so very recently, um, I got the Ban Ki-moon Fellowship, and then when we were having our first meeting, this question was asked like to someone that was on my team, and then her answer was that she doesn't think she would do anything differently. She doesn't think she's going to beat herself over anything she's done, and I think I'm buying that as well. I think if I were to relive life all of, or redo everything all over again, I don't think I would do anything differently because for every mistake that I have made or for everything that I did not do well, I think they were lessons to move to become the person that I am today. So I don't think I'll really do anything differently. I don't think I would have expected anything different from myself.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I must commend us all. You've really blessed us with your word of your drink offering to us tonight. Thank you so much. We are so privileged to have your presence with us, and I believe our viewers out there and everybody that have been following us have gotten priceless lessons from this session. So thank you so much, and we just want to tell you that we love you and we love the things you're doing, and we're seeing you from the background, and we just want to encourage you with our words. So keep up doing the good works, and keep the fire burning, and together we'll all make Africa great. And I would just like to know, like, among the African leaders we have the African leaders that are very well known. Which of them is like a role model to you, or which of them that has a value that resonates so well to you? Can I hear from Ayatola? Which of the African leaders has a value that resonates so well with you?
Um, I think I'm finding it hard to think through that. Well, I have a leader who has a value that resonates so well with me, but she's not African. You can say she's African, she's black, but she's not African, and that's the current Prime Minister of Barbados. She's a very excellent woman. I respect her in all forms. She's bold, she's daring, and she's really she takes the African heritage serious. You can say, okay, Barbados is a Caribbean country, but she's tried as much as possible to push the frontiers of Africa in everything she does, and I really admire her. Particularly admire her for her boldness and she's just a daring attitude. If there's anyone I'm to comment on, like most times, I think she's not as well known as many people, but I think when you talk about one of the boldest
Because
African
I
leaders,
barely know
even though
her as
she's
well.
yeah, most people don't know her, but that's the Prime Minister of Barbados. You can just like Google her after the meeting. I really love that woman. She's excellent. She's quite fluent. Yeah, so for me, I admire her a lot.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. So Eedee-Bari, can we just hear from you? Just one of the leaders that.
I would say Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. I love her determination, and I love that she doesn't limit herself. I love that she goes for gold. She shoots her shots everywhere, and she leaves her footprints everywhere.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much once more. We really do appreciate your time and your presence and everything you've given to us tonight. Thank you so much. And I think we'll let you go at this point, because we know you're a very busy personality, so you can have and continue what you are doing. So we'll just give you some musics for you to dance out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this beautiful day by Grace.
Wake up and smile, cause it's been a while. It's been like a whole day since I started. So you
I'm
can hold
listening exactly.
this child away. Strong in the faith.
Are we getting it right?
Yeah, thank you. Wow.
Bye, everyone. It was great being on the show.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Nice
much.
being on the
Yeah. Awesome
panel with
having you,
you,
Ayantola.
Eedee-Bari.
Awesome
Nice
having you,
being
Eedee-Bari.
with you too.
Yeah.
Well done, Komi and Peter. You guys are doing
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Respects.
And
Thank
Yeah.
you.
yeah, bye.
Wow, amazing, amazing. You're not dancing, Peter.
Yeah. I don't know. Just sitting down vibing is not really so easy for me.
Amazing, amazing. Wow,
Probably
thank you so much. So can you just tell me,
if I'm with a cup of coffee or wine.
So, Peter, can you just tell me what you think about the session so far? How was
I
it?
I I must say it's been amazing. I've been, when I went backstage, I was listening to every single thing that was going on, everything they said. They actually said, I actually took down every single thing, and beyond the information that they were actually sharing, I must say that the clarity and their audacity to actually try new things has actually stirred up something in me that, if these guys can do this thing, I too can. So I think that should be the belief of everyone out there. Sometimes just see
Wow, I think Peter is having some network glitch out there. Okay, I think he will try to rejoin us. So, um, indeed, it's been a wonderful session. It's been just wonderful having our two guests with us today. So, thank you so much. I won't keep you. I won't keep you long again. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for just being there and receiving the words from our guest tonight, and tonight or this morning, depending on where you're watching from. So, Unmute Yourself continues. We have the Unmute Yourself series, and it continues next month. We are having an amazing guest. We have an amazing guest coming up next month. You can't afford to miss this guest. I won't tell you now. I want you to watch out for this guest. We have somebody amazing coming up next month to just bless us with an amazing topic. So ensure you share this good news with your friends. Share this video, comment, just show us that you were here, you watched it, whether the replay or live. Just drop a comment, like the video, share with your friends, and expect something powerful next month. Thank you so much for joining us up to this time. My name is Komi Marvin, and I'm the anchor of the Unmute Yourself live series and also the anchor of the Unmute Yourself podcast. Thank you so much for just giving us your time tonight, and do have a blessed night or a wonderful day, depending on where you're. Just going to play my song as I go out. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Woo!
sorry for the network.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much. And you're still a refuge that I just got to get to, so I